Hey guys, we're here for another
Hello.
video this time.
Yeah, I'm
Another
like this
video
like
instead
twice
of a
in a
live
row. I'm
stream.
so happy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
um
An actual video too. So
yes,
we
okay.
decided to do Book Awards
2025.
2025
2025
Pens
pins.
and Paperback
Okay, it's
Edition.
Pens and Paperbacks official 2025 book awards.
Yes.
On the top of everyone's like bucket list,
Yeah. I mean, it's epic, right?
Oh yeah.
You want your book to get in the award ceremony here.
Okay.
Um. So
Next year,
yeah,
next year we'll have to make little paper awards. We'll have to make
yeah,
little
and like
awards.
hold it up or something.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Um.
excited because we did one last year, but like we started like in
hmm
October.
Oh
We didn't
yeah.
have a huge
So
like,
we didn't
but
really
now
have a
we've got
full
the whole
year.
year to choose from. I know. I'm like, we're gonna have so much fun.
Oh
She's
yes.
got her tea. I've got my water somewhere. I had my
This
water.
is
It
my
currently fell.
it's my second London fog for the day. I went to Target earlier today and got a London fog, and then I'm having another
Mm-hmm.
one. Only this one's a homemade one, so it tastes slightly different, but still good.
Nice.
In my Winnie the Pooh
Homemade's always
mug.
good though.
It's my B mug, but it has Winnie the Pooh on it. I don't know if you can say that.
I love Winnie the Pooh.
I do
I love
too.
Winnie the Pooh.
When I
I'm
have
also into Stitch right now for some reason. Like all of my things are like Stitch
stuff at
themed. I'm doing.
Marshalls has a lot of Stitch themed stuff throughout the year, so you might check for them
Mhm.
if you ever want like a cute Stitch mug.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so
cute.
we're gonna go through. We have, at least on my list, we have 18 different awards, and then so what we'll do is we'll say what the award is, like our favorite book or like the best friendship or whatever, and then we'll both announce which of the books that we read got that award for each of us, and we'll kind of
Yeah.
go down the list that way.
And
And
some of the categories is like, best character or something. We'll say the
uh-huh.
book and the character and like the details.
Yes.
So
Okay. Yeah. All right. And we'll kind of go through, and don't feel free to do this for yourself too, and let us know what books kind of won,
yeah,
for
in the
you too
comments
in the
as
comments.
you
So,
yeah play along. So
okay. First one is our favorite book of the year.
this was so hard. This was so hard. I oh my gosh, this was so hard.
Honestly, for me, there was one that like I was trying to think of it, and I'm like, which book had like the biggest impact on me as a reader throughout the year? Like, which one had the
Um,
biggest impact? At least for
yeah,
me, it was like which one, like I don't know. Like I
yeah,
guess,
I can see
like
that.
what's the what?
That's
Like
kind
it's
of like
the
mine.
yeah, it's like
Then mine is also the event kind of associated around it because of how special it
mm,
was, like
yeah.
the memories that'll stick with me. But I'm kind of torn between two, so I couldn't
I
pick
got a
one.
glimpse. Okay, all right, three, two, one.
I had a feeling yours was going to be alchemized. I couldn't
Yes.
decide. They both feel like a Yarrow,
Yeah.
so that kind of says a lot. But just like
Yes.
emotional impact,
Oh
the
yeah.
cliffhanger, and the feels, and then the event of getting Onyx Storm was like my first experience like of a hype, like getting a
Mm-hmm.
hype book, seeing everybody. Like I remember we went to Target and like the line was so long they ran out of the special
Oh,
editions, and like everybody was
yeah.
there for Onyx Storm, so it's like you feel part of a community,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like a special thing for me.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. For me, it was just like I know some people were reading it for the romance. I really wasn't. But partly I was kind of reading it because of the fact it was a Harry Potter fan fiction originally, but also I was really intrigued and just kind of wanted to dive into it. And I'm not gonna lie, part of it was because it was based loosely off Harry Potter, but I wasn't reading it for the romance, and it's not my favorite because of the romance. It's just the book as a whole was very. It made me. It made me think and contemplate and really kind of like expand my thinking on the idea of like war and how war there's really no like good side because there's death on both sides. Like both sides are going to end up doing things that they regret, or in some cases doing things that aren't right. And it's like there's death during war regardless, and it's really a book about war and the aftermath of war, and how the good side isn't always really good, and the bad side sometimes you have those
mm-hmm.
characters that kind of ride the line, and it's just really
Like,
intriguing.
yeah, like how it stuck with you for so long afterwards. I feel like I can definitely see why that's your favorite because I thought you mentioned afterward it kind of stuck with you and you
Yes.
had trouble
Mm-hmm.
with your book.
Oh
I
yeah.
know for me, like aspect of the last letter, like the awareness of realistic, really heavy topics
Yes.
like parents of child cancer, and then
Oh yeah.
Beckett with the military,
Mm-hmm.
because there are like things that he did that he can't get over, and like how they push aside their emotions, and so they're just like, I don't feel anything, and then so they don't deal with like,
Yeah.
the PTSD and some of the stuff that like
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It just dealt with a lot of heavy topics that, like,
Yeah, I
in
get
in
that.
a well way. And then the romance finally being like, we fell in love with each other because we were pen pals. I didn't even know what you looked like. I
Yeah.
fell in love with your mind and your personality,
Yeah.
and it's you don't see that in romance books
Oh
anymore.
yeah.
So, but yeah. All right. So number two is your least favorite book this year. Which I actually don't think I have. That's on my other Kindle. I don't think I have that. Oh no, I didn't think about the ebooks here.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I think I have an
But
idea
I
of
think
which one you're gonna pick. Though I have an
yeah.
idea. It was like your lowest rating too for the year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So these are okay. I do have it on here. I just haven't downloaded it yet because I switched. I got
Got
a
it.
new Kindle
Oh,
for
fun.
Christmas. And because it was hilarious because before Christmas I was on my old Kindle because it was Michael's work refurbished it, and
Mm-hmm.
he bought it at like it was kind of like a you bid for it, and he got it at a really cheap price, but it was like a previous Kindle and they just re-erased it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's very old. And I was sitting there like, open, and like stupid book, it won't, and I'm sitting there ranting on the
Yeah.
couch. And Alicia goes dead quiet. Like maybe she's just mad that I'm ranting. Come to find out, she knew all along that she had bought me a new Kindle for Christmas, and she was getting a kick out of my ranting because this was before Christmas and
That's
everything.
funny.
And I thought it was so funny. Okay, let me actually just type it up. At least I can babble very well. But yeah, I thought that was so funny.
um,
That she was like, and so when I got it, I was like, yes, because I was like, I was gonna be
and
upset if she didn't get me
just
the
a
new.
disclaimer too that even though I think that for both of us this is our lowest rating for the year, but this doesn't necessarily have to be your lowest rated book. Um,
Yes.
but many times it usually is your least favorite. Like if you don't like a book, you're not going to rate it 5 star. Like usually that's what
Yeah.
happens. But so it
And
doesn't have
also,
to be your lowest rating, but it can be.
hmm yeah. Also, yesterday when I went over my DNF list in a video I was filming for my main channel, I also wanted to put a disclaimer that, like, I appreciate
Oh
anybody
yeah.
who has the courage to write a book, publish a book, and
Oh
go
yeah,
through all
for
of that.
sure. For
Even
sure.
though, like, I didn't like your book, it's just not fit for me.
It's not
I
my
still
cup of tea.
appreciate the
Yeah.
person, the
Yes.
author. Yeah, it's just not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I said. But,
Yeah.
anyways, least favorite book this year. Ready?
Three,
Three,
two,
two,
one.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Eldest, that makes sense for you. Protecting
Yeah.
Caroline. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
mine. But
The okay for me,
yeah. So
for me it
I'll let
was
you go
it's
first.
like the second half of the book was just it like the first chunk of the book was really detailed and it took its time, and then it's like we rushed through the last bit, and it's like a whole
Right.
battle was fought and won in the span of like a couple chapters, and it was like a large chunk of
Yeah,
the
that
book
seems like
is the main guy like with the elves preparing, and then the last little tiny chunk is this big battle, and I'm like, and then I just didn't like what they did with one of the characters, so that was me.
right. Well, for me, I've kind of already talked about this a little bit yesterday, but the hijacking ended way too quickly because that's the entire blurb is just about the hijacking. So you're expecting it to be like
Yeah.
a good portion of the drama. And then it just had a lot of continuity, like realistic issues that a good developmental editor could have fixed. But I did want to say, like, the hijacking was really good. Like, I started off loving this book,
Yeah.
and like in it, the bad guys, like, they had snuck stuff into the drink, so everybody started passing out, and he didn't catch it, being even though he's
Yeah.
trained. And she's like a biochemist kind of person, so she's like, this smells weird. She's like, don't drink that. And that's how they stayed awake while everybody else gets knocked out. And it was like this really intense, like, plane hijacking
Yeah.
sequence that just ended, and then the plot got dumb after that. Like, it just kind of.
Yeah.
So I really loved the beginning to this book.
I wonder if it just the book wasn't long enough and the author had to add stuff to the book to make it like
Yeah.
novel length. I wonder because it sounds almost like the main premise of like the blurb of the book was about the first chunk, and so like I don't know as
I
you
never
were
thought about
as you
that.
were
That could
explaining
be.
that it feels kind of like that's what for to me that's what it feels like happened is that the book just wasn't long enough, and so she tacked stuff onto the end of it. Maybe I don't know. But
Yeah, I could see that actually. So I may try book 2 at some point because it was
yeah.
a free because she like listed it as free, so it was just a free book on
Oh,
Kindle.
cool.
So for a free book, when you think that, like it was pretty good. But
Yeah.
so I
Okay.
figure we could go back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. So, award number 3 is our favorite author. So we can't really pull. I'm not gonna really pull
Yeah,
a
we can
book for
pull up
this
our
one. I'm
book.
just gonna announce. I guess we could pull their book up. I could do the.
Oh,
I could do
I
the
do.
current one I'm reading. I could do the. It's the same.
That's funny.
Well, I
So
haven't taken the Target sticker off, so I'll leave it on there. I'll do the.
I can't decide. Okay.
I thought you said you
Okay.
did. You checked. You decided beforehand.
I did. I wrote like 3 or 4 different answers for all of
Oh.
these. So
Oh. Okay.
I didn't final decisions, I guess.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's all right. I'm messing with you. All right. 3,
Yeah.
2, 1. Show.
Cool. So
Yeah. For
I
me,
have
it was
different
Carissa.
reasons for each of these. Rebecca Yarros, just because she has like she's just really good at like telling these really gritty stories that like with really good romances in those that just entertain me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Heather A.T. Pruitt, for me, has like such a sense of adventure and
Mm-hmm.
wonder and the spiritual aspects. It's like really good. Like it always speaks to me
Mm-hmm.
like when I need them the most and like these really spiritual lessons. And it just makes
Yeah.
you feel like a kid again because it's so
Yeah.
adventurous, like Chronicles of Narnia.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure you'll talk about this more too, but Carissa Broadbent is like a master
Oh yeah.
writer. I've praised her so much, like the way that she puts words together. She's just master at storycraft, like putting words together and stuff, like a
Oh
master
yeah.
wordsmith.
All right. So I chose Carissa Broadbent just because um, I feel like she goes against the wind, against the grain of like everyone else. Like literally every other fantasy writer, new current fantasy writer, it feels like they're all writing the exact same thing. And she is probably the one author that I have read personally. Now there's probably a handful of books that I've heard about. Like I showed you one before we recording. The One Dark Window. It's the same author of The Night and the Moth, Rachel Gillick. She's one of them I feel like has potential to be like a Chris Broadbent for me. I just haven't read enough of her books yet to establish that. But I feel like Carissa Broadbent, her worlds are unique. Her characters are unique. They are strong in ways other than the conventional romantasy vibe, and it's just like they're unique and different and gritty. And she will include some spice, but she makes sure that the characters grow in their relationship in other ways. And I really really appreciate her so much, and I feel like I'm honestly super glad that I decided to read The Serpent and the Wings of Night, because I feel like she, if I ever get another bookshelf,
I think you
she
got
will
me
earn
to
a
read
book.
it too.
Yeah, and I feel like if I get another bookshelf, she will earn a shelf by herself on, because she's just
Yeah, I
amazing
agree.
and I love her. And yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna say also a runner up for me is Sarah J. Maas, but I've just like I burned out on her after
Yeah.
Throne of Glass, so it's like I'm kind of annoyed with Sarah J. Maas at the moment. So she's a kind of a runner up, but also
Okay.
not really because like
I
a hate
would
love
have
relationship.
I would have okay, before reading Crescent City, I would have before reading Crescent City book 3, I would have said that
Right.
she's one of them, but I feel like after reading Crescent City book 3, I just feel like she's getting very repetitive with the character
Hmm.
personalities. And that's all I'm saying,
Yeah, that makes sense.
because you haven't read Crescent City
I
yet.
can see that.
And I don't want to
Yeah.
downplay Crescent City, because book 3 was still good, and it opened the storyline, the plot line, to expand so much, and I'm excited for that. But I'm disappointed at her writing choices for Bryce. So I don't want to
Yeah.
downplay that series, because I do want you to at least try it, because
Yeah.
and I don't want to I don't because I
Oh,
know
I get
for
that.
I know like if we tend to feed off of each other. So it is a really good story, and it's not finished yet. That's the thing. So, and we don't
Yeah.
know how many books are in the Crescent City series. So it could very well be one of those
Make it
middle
better.
books, middle grade book, like middle of the series books that kind of doesn't sort of make sense,
Mhm.
that will make sense
Yeah.
in like the end when we're looking back at it. So it's like I don't want to put too much emphasis on the negatives on that one, but yeah.
Well, actually, for me too, I feel like, and I could be wrong, but like for me, the more negative it's built up, the worse I'm going to expect. So it may be better than what I'm expecting, and I may be
I'm
pleasantly
hoping so.
surprised. But I'm like, worst
Yeah,
case
I'm hoping so.
scenario, you know. All right, so number 4 is our saddest or heaviest read. So not necessarily sad, but like sad
Yeah.
slash heavy read, which I'm pretty sure I know what this is going to be for both of us. But
Okay,
so, all
3.
right, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, Sunrise on the Reaping is a really good runner-up. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Okay.
Oh my God.
There was times where this one where it was just like stomach drop emotion. Like I'm trying to think
Yeah.
what the only other one that would have come close for this one. Okay, the next one is Intense Feels. So I guess both the next two are yeah. So we'll say stick with this one with the saddest just because you know,
Yeah.
children dying is
Um,
always going to make me sad.
yeah.
So,
That's why this is on the list here because it's like
mm-hmm.
it just like I don't know, and I think it helps that like the main girl Maisie who has cancer, she's such a hero and she's never like I mean obviously she's upset, but like she stays really positive through it
Yeah.
and you feel the despair of the mom.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's a helpless situation because there's nothing that you can do. Like it's completely out of your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just and it's not the only tragedy that happens because it's like when you read this book you're expecting like worst case scenario kind of stuff and I think it just surprises you how
Oh,
heavy and
yeah.
how tragic it's like when it rains it pours,
Oh, yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
one tragedy after another, how much can a person take kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so heavy.
Yeah.
So but yeah, Sunrise on the Reaping is like that's almost like would tie for me because
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah. And it was like
children death
and like
always
the shock makes the like it's like shock that leads into sadness. Like each time it's like you said, it's like one thing comes and then another thing happens and then another thing happens and it's like anytime there's
yeah
books that have one bad thing after another and it's done in a tasteful way because sometimes it can just feel repetitive and it's like oh here's another bad thing that happens to the character but it's like if an author can do it tastefully it's very very impactful for sure.
yeah and like the when they dump all the like bad things on a character and like for Haymitch especially like getting to see his transition
Oh
from
yeah.
like how he starts in the beginning of the book to the drunk that we know
Oh
that
my
like
gosh, yes.
embarrasses himself on stage like
Yeah.
seeing that journey and transition like I definitely agree with you like
And
that's definitely like
I
one of
I
the
feel
saddest ones
like
too.
that was probably one of the main reasons for me why it was so sad is because like I'm picturing old drunk Haymitch in my head and I'm seeing all these things happen and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's why he acts that way. That's why he's like that." And I think I remember in the trilogy, didn't they kind of I don't know if they watched Haymitch's games or if they skipped it or what, I can't remember, but it's
I
just
can't
like
remember.
I'm just like, man, that boy, and just to see him, I don't know, and when he reveals the pet name for Lenore Dove, I forget what he said, but he ended up calling Katniss that
Yeah,
mid series, and it's like understanding
yeah.
why now, like reading the end of this book and understanding why he calls her that was just,
Oh,
yeah.
it's yeah I oh you're almost changing my mind here. Oh,
You can't change mine now because we've got.
yeah, too late.
All right. Next one is the book with the most like the most intense feelings. I feel like that.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was
Yes,
like
intense.
most intense
Like
feels
that moment
moment.
that your gut, like that moment that your gut just twists because you feel so much emotion with the character.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with my original choice here. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay. 3, 2,
Yep.
1. Shut.
Ooh, okay. Order of the Phoenix. Which number is that? 5,
5.
6,
It's
5.
the
Okay.
5. It's
Okay.
the one where Haymitch, where not Haymitch, still talking about Haymitch. It's the one
That's
where
funny.
they go fight oh, I'm wanting to say I hope this one's I have the right one. I think this was like the one where um where they go, where they Sirius dies?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it is. Because I just saw the chapter picture of him talking to Creature. Um, yeah. Yeah. So it's this one. Um,
Okay.
for me, it was just Harry was very emotional throughout this whole book, and so there was times when things would happen or he would say things, and it was just like either he was trying to like he was trying to back like I don't know. It was like Dolores. She was trying to say that it was like just an accident what happened in the Tri-War tournament, and it's just like he's trying to defend what he saw, and they're just like all think he's crazy, and then just the gut wrench. Like for me, the biggest thing was like that gut wrenching moment when he realizes that part of the reason why Sirius was there and got the whole point of why he was there was because he acted too quickly and acted without thinking and assumed that Sirius was in danger and didn't stop long enough to think that, hey, maybe Voldemort is showing me this on purpose to get me to fall for this trap. And he fell for it because he wasn't stopping and kind of getting out of his emotional brain for a second and thinking about it, and he just kind of rushes headfirst into it, and the whole battle in the Ministry is because he kind of jumps into it. And that moment when he realizes that after Sirius is gone, and there's one point where this mirror smashes, and then he wants it back, he looks back on it later, and it was just like and it was just like he like realizing that if he had done like after Sirius is gone, he the moment when he's thinking back on like I could have done this, and it's like there's times where it's like, you know, it's just that what if thing, because my brain thinks in what ifs a lot, like, and it's just the concept of like if he would have chosen a different outcome, things would have been different. And he was just very emotional throughout the entire book, and it was just I felt it a lot. So that for me, that was that one for me.
For me, I debated a lot, but for me, with Onyx Storm, the ending when we finally go to Zayden's POV, because we don't go to his POV like the whole book.
Yeah.
For me, I have always been a sucker for the Anakin turning to the dark side thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've written that a million times. Anakin, Zuko, Damon, like all of these guys who start off good in that transition of like, how does the good guy turn bad? And for me, it was like Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I didn't think they were actually going to make Zayden bad. Like, he's kind of been one of the guys, the main love interest. And so this whole time, and then he was kind of teetering the whole book. And so I didn't think she was actually going to go there. And I hoped that she would, and I was going to be disappointed if she didn't. So I was like, and the fact that he does it to like save everybody and he just gives in to the power. And I felt so much emotion in that scene that it was just a lot. So for me, that's why that was like the book that had the most intense feels. But I felt so much for so many of these things. So, all right, so your book with the best male character, like your favorite male character.
Okay.
Is number 6. I had like a gazillion guy characters listed here, so I'm gonna have to pick one.
Yeah, mine was like for me it was like obviously I have to choose this one. Like I wouldn't be me if I didn't choose this one. So
I don't know what you're gonna say, so this will be interesting. All right,
all right,
3, 2, 1. Oh, you read that? I forgot.
I was like, if I don't choose Anakin Skywalker for my favorite male character, I am going to literally, like, if Anakin is never not my favorite male character, then obviously I'm not me and I'm an alien. So, just so,
for sure.
Just
so we're aware. I didn't read any Star Wars. I did, but it's DNF, so it doesn't count as a read this year. Otherwise, Anakin would have been my favorite too.
Cool.
That's funny. At least we know if you ever become an alien, what, like, you're not you. Like, so something's really wrong if it's not Anakin for you. Yeah, we've kind of touched on this a lot already, but like, hey, Mitch, just because he's the old wise mentor but like drunk. And so he's like a flip on that trope. But so getting his backstory, like I didn't expect to like him as much as I did, and he's a, you know, a 16-year-old guy who's providing for his family, and I just really loved his character, and that descent and
Mm-hmm.
journey into like the drunk that he becomes is so sad, and like all that he goes through and all that he loses and all that he does to protect his family. And I just like, yeah, he competes with like some of our other favorites from this
Oh
year
yeah.
from all the other romantic books, like for me.
Yeah.
So he takes the cake.
Yeah. I think for me, I think it was just like Anakin. He had good intentions. Like he wanted to succeed. He wanted to literally help Padme, and just like those times where it was talking about like he wasn't like in the movie. It kind of makes you think that he's trying to be arrogant when he wants to be a master, but in the
Yeah.
books it kind of expands on this concept that he was trying to access parts of the archive to find answers on how to say Padme, but the those parts of the archives were locked to people only, like to only masters, people with the master rank, and he was wanting to become a master just so he could access those things, not because he wanted, he had a little bit of arrogance there, yes, but it was like that concept of like that, and then
Mhm.
just getting in his head and really kind of expanding on that concept of like that dragon analogy that just kind of is slowly consuming him, and it was just really cool. It's just
Mhm.
he's a very complex character, and it's one of those things
Yeah.
that concept of like nobody is ever truly gone, or like no one's like you, there's no point where you can go so far that you can't be redeemed kind of thing, concept that I just really loved.
Yeah. I think how beautiful that edition is. I'm just sitting there staring at it as you're talking, like that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And then it's like the paper pages, um
oh,
it's who it feels to be Anakin
it's one of,
Skywalker forever, like on the pages, and I was like, oh, I love it.
oh, I love it too,
Okay, so
so
the
much.
the next one is our favorite female character.
Oh boy, once again, I had like six or seven, so I have to pick one. I don't know what I'm doing. Um, I'm really torn between a couple.
I know I have this one picked, but then I'm like,
There's a lot. Like in my defense, I've read so many female characters this year. I don't know what to do.
I'm changing my
I
mind.
guess I made this.
I'm changing my mind at the last
Okay.
minute. That's
Okay,
what I'm.
that's fine. I'm like, I've got three that I'm gonna talk about, so we're good. Okay.
Okay,
All
three,
right, you ready?
2, 1.
One. Okay. I've
Oh.
got three. I can't decide. Okay. I'll let you go first.
Okay, so originally I was gonna say a different book, but for this one, the more I thought about it, the more I Helena Marino is the main female in Alchemized, and it's just this concept that I don't know. It's almost like she becomes like an unsung hero type of character, that like she does so much for the light and for the good side, and she does so much behind the scenes, and in the end it's kind of one of those things where it's just like only certain people know what she truly did, and it's like there's
Yeah.
all the crap that she goes throughout the entire movie, the entire book, and I'm just like, ugh, it's just she goes through so much, and it's just one of those things where it's just like only a handful of people actually know truly what happens and all that she did and all that she accomplished, and there's like just it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, I'm torn between three. So the first one is Araya, because like, and this more actually, this is why I was debating because this kind of refers more to her first book because this is the second book, but she's like she's a strong female character because she has to be because she's in a world with vampires and that's not she's a human and so she has to be strong, and it was like finally for me like a strong female trope done correctly. And in this one in particular, she's like not got a lot of control about what's going on, and you know Rain betrayed her, and I just feel like she's a really good strong female
Mm-hmm.
character, but not in like an overly like Aelin kind of, or whatever the chick is from the new Star Wars sequels Rey is.
Mm-hmm.
So I, for me, but again, that's kind of more referring to like her first book, which I didn't read this year. I read that last year.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of like um torn between then Saris from Quicksilver and Misha, because it's like I liked Misha as a best
Mhm.
friend and a side character, so at first I didn't like
Yeah.
Misha as much as a main character, but she's very different than other like main female characters you see in books, because she's so full of life and laughter,
Mhm.
and she's so light, and just she makes everybody like she's so dedicated to her God who has betrayed her over
Yes.
and over and over again, that she's a very different female character than you normally see.
Oh
So I'm
yeah, for
almost
sure.
wanting to see Jess is actually one of my favorites.
Mhm.
But then Saris was another example of like a strong female character put in a situation that she has very little control over. And she's not in this book, Quicksilver only. Brimstone, she's really, for some reason, kind of goes, like you said, she says the F word every 2 seconds and kind of goes
Yeah.
off the rails.
Yeah.
But in Quicksilver in particular, I really did like her because she's not over strong. She
Mhm.
didn't understand the power that she has. She was really struggling to like do the work, like the Quicksilver stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um, so for me, I'm still kind of more leaning more toward Misha as my favorite female character this year.
Ooh,
But
okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
I'm gonna get the next one out, which is
All right.
very
So we just did our favorite female. So was it me that?
yeah,
Okay. It's the book with our favorite couple.
yeah. All right.
Okay. Three, two,
Okay, three,
one.
2, 1.
Oh, that is a good one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So for me, I was debating because there's a lot of good couples, and Misha and Asar
Mhm.
kind of take a runner up for me.
Mhm.
Same with Kingfisher and Saris, but it was a breath of fresh air in the Throne of Glass series. Kale's injured, so like when you think about the romance
Mhm.
itself, the guy is injured. She's a healer. She's
Mhm.
not strong or overbearing. Like she's strong, but like in different ways. She's
Mhm.
determined and stubborn,
Yeah.
and she doesn't like him, but she takes her job as a healer seriously and decides to
Mhm.
heal him, and find out that she has misconceptions about him,
Yeah.
and they fall for each other emotionally first. And I kid you not, the scene, spoiler alerts, by the way, we're talking about books. We kind of gave you guys this yesterday, but the scene where they fight and then they kiss and then he walks was the
Oh
best
my
kiss scene
gosh.
I have
Yes.
ever read. That is
Yeah.
literally the best kiss scene ever. Like chef's kiss,
Oh
ironically.
yeah.
But it's just like they build the emotions and they fight like a normal couple and they work things out, and it's
Mhm.
just like I love Irene and Kale. Like they are my OTP
Me
this
too.
year, or OPT, whatever the acronym for that is.
Yes.
So
I did Asar and Mishi because I just there's something about the complexity of their relationship that
mhm.
okay, there's never a moment where like one of them is like acting better than the other, if that makes sense. There it's just an example of a characters that they're different. Um, they have different strengths, different weaknesses, but it just felt that they were very in tune. Like it was just, I don't know. I appreciated that it was never a moment where one of them was really talking down or acting like they were better or more powerful than the other. They were balanced in the sense that they are strong in different ways. And she also, it was like throughout the entire story there was kind of like this looming fact that she's technically dead, and it was just
Yeah.
that looming factor of like, is this relationship going to work in the end, because
Mhm.
she's dead. Like, and they're trying, the whole point is them trying to find the solution to bring her back, and it's like, are they actually going to be able to do that at the end? And it's like that whole like,
Yeah, like that kind of being over them really added a
and
whole lot to
and the
their
fact that
relationship.
he was willing to go to any lengths to, ensure that she was okay in the end, and I
Mhm.
just really
Yeah.
appreciated that.
Yeah. I also like too that like especially in book 1, but you have this too in book 2, that they have
Mm-hmm.
like you get to see like she sees the SARS room and like what he likes and what she likes and what they are apart from just like being
Oh yeah.
lusty for
Oh
each
yeah.
other, which is
Uh-huh.
one of the things like as much as I love Kingfisher and Saris, especially in the last book, all
Oh
they want
yeah.
to do is have sex, and it's
Yeah.
like you
It's
don't have any
annoying.
other hobbies together.
Yeah.
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 So
For sure.
All right, so number 9 is a book that you didn't expect to like, and ended up liking it, or like liked better than you expected.
Yeah.
I said like so many times in that sentence, but you get what I mean. Um,
It was an unexpectedly good book.
yes,
Or
unexpectedly good.
you were pleasantly surprised by how it turned out.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
All right.
Right, so 3, 2, 1.
It's the first one.
This is the
I
right
haven't
one,
read
right?
the second one yet. I haven't read the second one yet,
Okay.
but it was this one.
Oh, Jurassic Park.
Just
I
because
didn't. Okay, I'm interested.
just because
Hear your thoughts.
I tried to read it when I was in high school, and the scientific parts of it just went way over my head, and I wasn't sure if
Mhm.
I was going to really enjoy it now. And I was worried that it wasn't going to be like, I was afraid it was going to be boring, and it wasn't. It was actually
Mhm.
really engaging, and I just really enjoyed it, and I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I knew I would
Um,
like it, I just wasn't sure how much I
mhm.
was going to like it.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Again, the accomplishment of actually finishing it when you started it in high school and couldn't, like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure feels really good to
Oh
like.
yeah, for sure.
So for me, the Songbird and the Heart of Stone clearly takes the cake for this one because I started it and I hated it and I didn't like it. I hated the
Yes, I remember
underworld, the
that.
necromancy, the death. So when I went back into it, I genuinely was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. I do not know. And then Misha being to me, I still saw her as a side character
Oh
instead of the
yeah.
main character. And when I shifted that, and then it was like, okay, the underworld stuff, not that bad. It kind of mirrors more like Greek god kind of
Mm-hmm.
pantheon style stuff rather
Mm-hmm.
than like, something that actually gives me the heebie
Yeah.
jeebies. And I actually ended up loving this book so much. And that was completely unexpected because I did not know how I was going to get through this book.
Oh
So,
sweet. Okay.
yeah.
I had to get my
Oh,
books.
I'm excited for this next one.
All right. Oh,
Ooh,
let's get that
hopefully,
over.
I didn't spoil what the book is.
All right. There we go. I was trying to get my, because I'm officially on my second note card, so I was trying to get my books ready.
That's
Okay.
funny.
All right.
Good book
The
card.
next one is the best friendship that you've read.
Okay. All right. I'm excited.
The cover of the sprayed edges kind of give it away on your choice a little bit. 'Cause I can see them.
Ducky darn.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, okay. I never know what you're gonna choose. Like I feel like mine are obvious, but like I'm always excited. Like, what's you gonna pick?
Okay.
Um, I guess you can go first, though.
I always go first. Why don't you go first this time?
Okay. Kingfisher and Carrion, like
Mm.
I don't know. I've seen so many like Shrek and Donkey memes
Okay.
for
Yeah.
it too, and it's just like it's like an enemies to friendship, like
Yeah.
an enemies to brothers. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's like
I like
Kingfisher
that.
hates Carrion, can't stand him. Carrion's hilarious. Like for me,
Yes.
I actually like compare him to Riddick, and I love him better than
Okay.
Riddick. I know Riddick is like the fan favorite in Fourth Wing, the Fourth
I
Wing
wouldn't.
series.
I wouldn't go that far. I haven't had enough of Carrion yet to be able to just to say that.
Well, to me,
Like for me at
I
least.
actually like him better than Riddick. I
Really.
really do. I don't like Riddick
Hmm.
as much as I'm telling you, I loved
Yeah.
Carrion in this
See,
book. I know you have a completely different take.
that's
I
another
love him more
example
than I love
of
Riddick.
that's another
Um,
example of why of how like books can be like
affect people differently.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So for me, their journey, their broship, and then that one time where they had that deep conversation, and you get Carrion's like lore, and
Mm.
Kingfisher starts to
Mhm.
appreciate him and
Mhm.
see him as like a brother, and a friend. Like I really just loved, like they're my favorite duo from this year. Like,
Mhm.
and they may actually be one of my favorites, like in terms of all of the books that I've read in
Mhm.
recent years. So definitely
Yeah.
Kingfisher and Carrion, which I was like, she's not gonna agree with me on this, but I thought that was really funny
That's
anyway.
funny. That's cool.
So.
I like that you know me well enough that you knew that I wasn't going to agree with you on it.
Yeah, I respect it, but it's like, I'm
That's
sorry.
funny.
I love
Yeah,
Carrie
that's
and
funny.
I,
Yeah.
I will die on that hill, okay?
Okay. Honestly, the reason why I chose Deathly Hallows, for me, it was just like throughout this series, and I think probably remember me mentioning this a few times. I'm not a big fan of Ron. I know a lot of people love Ron's character.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of him. Um, And I feel like it got better at the end of the book, especially when he came back. He chose to come back. It still irritated me. Like, he got angry and left Hermione. Because, like, the whole point of this book is that if you've never really read the series, you haven't watched the series at all, watched the movies at all, but, like, Harry, Ron, and Hermione don't return for their final year at Hogwarts. So they never technically ever really graduate from Hogwarts. I like to think that they allowed them to go back, but I don't know.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling never told us. We just got what we know of from A Cursed Child, which I guess is part of the reason why the fandom was so upset with The Cursed Child, because it doesn't actually answer a lot of the questions that the fandom had. But
Right.
they give up their final year at school, and they're helping Harry find all of the different Horcruxes so they can finally kill Voldemort once and for all. And it was just one of those things, like, they became fugitives for him. They endured torture for him. Like, they literally endured life-threatening situations to help him. And in the end, after he's dead, the fact that they still are fighting for him and they're still, like, defending him even after they think he's dead, it just was like, okay, peak friendship right there. Trio.
I can appreciate that totally. So I like that.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to make sure I was on the right one. So, book with the best animal companion or best animal sidekick. I'm gonna find my book. I've lost it here. No, wait. Yes, I've got it. Okay. Try not to give it away this time. Was I more subtle?
I feel like we're probably both gonna agree on this one, though.
Okay.
I think
Maybe we'll see.
You might surprise me. Okay.
Right. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Onyx.
Yeah, Onyx is like, okay. Like, I haven't read very many, like, animal sidekicks much this year, but I'm like, Onyx is going to take the cake on the best animal sidekick. Like, the fact that he's standing by her side even after he dies and, like, is, like, trying to get, like, Kingfisher from the tree, and he's still, like, like, he's, like, growling and trying to, like, he stayed with Kingfisher even after Kingfisher became a tree, and I'm just like, the whole concept of, like, prisoners becoming trees, just, like, surprise, like, that was one of my that was honestly one of my favorite parts of the book, is, like, realize, like, that was honestly the biggest, probably the whole biggest shock of the whole book, was that that part right there, where it's like, oh crap. I'm like, that was one of those moments I'm like, how is she going to get him out of that? Like, how is she going to get out of this? That was, like, that moment for me, like, of the whole book, was that.
Yeah. It was, to me, it was, like, so creative, because then you're looking at all the other trees, like, all right, who did you used to be, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, there were several times where, like, they made this journey, and, like, Onyx the fox just, like, climbed over mountains, and his paws are bloody, and my sister's a vet tech, so I'm like, in my head, like, how would you, I'm thinking, how would you fix this person up, fox up, and the end scene where he dies, I was like, it was like my baby Bash, and I'm just like, I can't do this, I can't handle this. So, for sure. Okay, I got my next one ready to go. I'm not gonna spoil it this time.
Okay, so the next one is the most intense action scene. Like, the best action scene, most intense action scene.
This one is, like, hands down on my side. There's no other option at this point.
Think, okay, I'm trying to think of which one I was talking about. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. 3. Sorry, I don't know why. My brain was just, like, expecting you to pop it up. Like, wait, no, we do the countdown.
Sorry, 3. I was like, you read the question, so I was like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, Kingdom of Ash. If I'd have read that one this year, that would have been my choice as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith makes sense too. I mean, okay. I forgot.
Okay, honestly, you would think it would be the Obi-Wan Anakin fight, but honestly, when I thought of, like, best action scene, my brain thought of, like, the space battle, and, like, how long the space battle is, And it's like
Yeah.
that one, and then when Anakin is on Mustafar and he is killing the separatist leaders, like that one was real. I really really liked that whole sequence. Um, and the Anakin and Obi-Wan would fight was pretty good too. But I feel like I've seen that so many times that it just kind of, But it's like getting those other, I don't know. There were several good action scenes in this one that.
Like really good. Like it's an action-packed book, so I
Oh yeah.
totally get that.
All right.
This is like the Avengers Endgame for the series, so there was
Mm-hmm.
like battle and fight after battle and battle and battle, and the final boss fight kind of brings it all together, and everybody has their part to play. Everybody
Yes.
had something to do. So it was just like, I mean, it's 900 pages long of just epic, intense
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So, um, there was a lot of good fight scenes in this book. So it's no contest, honestly, just because it's the final book
Oh
of
yeah.
like a huge, so it's going to.
Oh yeah.
So. All right, next up we have book with the biggest cliffhanger.
Okay.
And I have to get my books without spoiling it for the camera this time. So I'm trying to like not books over and trying to get it over here without spoiling it and not spill anything.
That's funny.
All right, I think I got this. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
I couldn't decide, so I picked both.
Yeah.
Obviously, like with Onyx Storm, it's like Steven described it as a cliff dangle, and both of
Mm-hmm.
these had that. For me, I sat up, I lean back on the couch and relax when I'm reading. So when I sit up
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking down and I go, "What?" out loud, like, because I don't talk out loud when I
That was
read,
the way
like,
this one was for
that's
me.
my
Yeah.
cliffhanger. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I literally was just like, "What? What do you mean? What do you mean?" Like with this
Mm-hmm.
one, and like with this one, it's like both of them just like I'm so excited for the next one, and they both had that like in the like you finish a sentence and it seems like you're going to have another couple paragraphs to go, and you turn the page
Yeah.
and it's done. Like it ended
Mm-hmm.
in such an abrupt kind of way for both of
Mm-hmm.
these that
Yeah.
it's like true cliffhangers for me.
Okay.
So
For this one, it was the Knight and the Moth, and the whole concept of the story is she's trying to figure out what happened to these girls. That the girls leave this monastery kind of place that they're at, and she has this knight and the king. Like every time there's a new king, they'll come to this monastery, and then the girls will be kind of essentially they're drowned, like people put them underwater and drowned them so they see a vision. And based on what happens, the gods will either show them favor or not show them favor. And so
mhm.
where they don't give them their favor, that's bad. And so the king, in this knight and her, they go out to try to, and the king and the knight are trying to help her because they kind of want her help and she'll give them, help each other kind of situation. And so they go through this entire book um, helping helping her figure out what happened to these girls. And then at the very end, someone, I'm not going to say who, someone like does a 180 at the last minute and turns out to be doing it for selfish reasons, and essentially tells her like, if you don't do this, if you don't come with me, then I'm going to turn you guys in and say that you just like did this whole thing. It's like a quid pro quo kind of thing, like if you don't do this, then there's going to be consequences. And it's like, that's not what I was wanting to happen at the end of this book. I wanted a good solid like happily ever after for the couple kind of situation, and it was not the case at all. And I was mad. Very mad about it. But it was a very good book though.
I totally understand that. So
Okay. Probably I just wrote disappointment. So I think it's like the book that was the biggest disappointment for you, I guess.
yes, that is. Yeah, the book that was the biggest disappointment to you that you actually did finish, because obviously my DNF
Yes.
list are the top ones that I disappointed because I didn't read the rest of them. But
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Okay. Three,
yep.
2, 1, show.
Okay, interesting. Like I figured it would kind of be the same for me. It's not quite the same just because I had a bigger letdown with parts of this than I did with Protecting Caroline.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at like as much as
No,
any of
that
my other
makes
books,
sense.
so it's my first like rated book or whatever.
That's fair.
But I was just so disappointed with the
Mm-hmm.
Aelin Lysandra stuff in this
Yeah.
that it broke my heart because I loved the series
Mm-hmm.
and I was hoping for better. And so
Mm-hmm.
I hated their characters and was ready for Tower of Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like such a disappointment for me that
Yeah.
that's why this one is,
Yeah.
my biggest disappointment.
Honestly,
So,
I feel like the reasons why it was my least favorite are the reasons why it was a disappointment. Like the second half of the book was really rushed, and then all of a sudden he has this main opponent that comes out to be like way stronger, way more powerful, and it's like completely destroys him in the battle. And he spent months with these elves, and the person that ends up being, I'm just like, I had higher hopes for this character. I wanted this character to go a completely different direction, and I was just completely let down, and I was just very disappointed at the end of the
awful.
book. And I'm just like, I'm
You're
not,
so sad.
I'm not into this anymore. But
Yeah, I
eventually I
can totally
will,
see that.
and eventually I'll keep going. But it was like literally he had no chance. Aragon had no chance at the end of this book with the way the author had wrote it, and I'm just like, why? You have
Mhm.
literally 75% of the book is him training with the elves, and then you have this really short, very quickly written battle, and he's just decimated by this other character who's extremely powerful, way more powerful, and is probably always going to be more powerful than him. And I'm like, based on how he's written it at the moment, and I'm like, why would you do that? Like,
Mhm.
why even introduce, like, it's just the other character seems so almost OP, and I'm just like, this is stupid. It's just
Mhm. I
stupid.
can
It's
understand
dumb.
that.
And I'm just like, it's just like kind of like sucks out any amount of hope that you have that he learned anything, because his character
Mhm.
feels like does a 180 and doesn't even act like he spent months with the elves when he gets back around the humans. And I'm just like, this is
Yeah,
irritating.
I can see that. I like when characters are overwhelmed, so I'm wondering if that would be another book where I would have a totally different opinion. And now I
Yeah.
kind of want to reread Aragon and read that
Mm-hmm.
one just to see if like what my thoughts are on it. But
Mm-hmm.
I know Michael has them, so that might be a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
all right. So the next one is book with the best plot twist that you didn't see coming. And I've got two for this one, so which may surprise everybody.
Okay. All right.
All right. So ready?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Three, two, one. I'm trying to not drop my Kindle. So,
Ooh.
I lost my page. That's okay. So yeah, so with both of these, I'm gonna drop my Kindle, but The River is Waiting by Wally Lamb, and then the last letter,
Okay.
the twist comes at the very end, and it deals with like basically who dies. Like
Oh,
it is a
gotcha.
shock.
Yeah.
And like with the last letter, you're expecting obviously the worst case scenario with the plot line that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much like death and grief and stuff. And then like it completely there's this huge
Hmm.
like suspenseful plot
Yeah.
where he has to use his military training to like go through this thing. And it's gut wrenching and horrible. And I did not see that coming. And I was like, I could not stop reading or listening to the audiobook. And it's like, it's not what you expect. And then the
Mm-hmm.
aftermath of that is kind of like the end of the book. And then with this one, you're spending the whole book from Colby's perspective after he accidentally kills his child and
Mm-hmm.
he's in prison. And it's like this kind of like epilogue moment where it's just like, something happens, and because I'm trying not to spoil things here,
No, that makes
even
sense.
though I don't think you ever read it, but um, and it's just like it's awful because you wanted things to end differently, you wanted things to end better, and I'm still mad, I'm still upset, I don't like it. You
Mm-hmm.
should have given a happy
Yeah.
ending. It's awful. You like you talking about eldest, I think it was with
Yeah.
like Aragon and how. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you have like you wanted a different ending for the main character. It's like, oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
this was like, and this is the only book, so it's not a series.
Yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah.
I want to say it because I'm just like so I'm still upset. I'm not over it, apparently. It's just but I didn't see it coming, so that's the thing. It was like a twist I did not see coming at
Ooh.
all. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, I'm still not over it.
The oh yeah, the next one. Okay, mine. I've mentioned this already, but like the character turning on everyone else at the end, I was not on my radar. I get okay. Looking back
Right.
on it, I should have saw the signs earlier on, and I just didn't even connect the dots. I didn't even think about it, and it just completely surprised me at the end. So I won't continue to rant. I've already ranted about this one, so I will let that one be. All right.
Uh,
Um, let's see. Satisfying conclusion is our next one. The book with this satisfying conclusion.
trying to find mine. Uh, nope. Thought I had it. Nope. I literally, the book's missing.
Oh,
Okay, here it is. I found it.
okay.
I have a pile of like 27 books in my defense, so. All right. I think that's it. We're good.
All right. All right. So, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, Falling in the Kiss of Dust. Yeah, I felt like that one was pretty satisfying.
Yeah, it basically the gist of it is it took its time and like
Mhm,
we it really like year kind of it seemed like years passed as we kind of jumped time
mhm,
and like it took its time kind of it ended in a cliffhanger in the sense that like it set up the next duology and the next romance, but
yeah.
like Misha and Asar's story wrapped up so perfectly with a little bow on top,
Mhm,
and it wasn't like not everything was absolutely perfect, but
yeah.
it was satisfying and it was just like
Yeah.
yeah, I
I get
really
that. I get
really
that.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me, it was just watching the main characters, the main male and female characters go through all this crap, and they at the end, it just has a very like they're through all that. They've made it. They've achieved what they needed to
Mhm.
achieve, and it's just a nice. For me, it's a nice, satisfying ending. I would have wanted more justice for the main character in certain areas at the very end, but it's like that's a very, very extremely minor issue, and I'm like, I was very honestly, it was one of those things. After I finished reading this one, I'm like, it would be kind of cool to get a book from another character's perspective, but I didn't actually feel like it needed any more books from the main two people, because
Right.
it ended with a good, satisfying ending, and it just
Right.
finished with how I was happy with how it finished.
Well, that's good. Especially after, like you said, when there's so much negative stuff, it's like the
Oh yeah,
characters kind of need like a run at some
yes.
point too.
Having that
Um,
satisfying ending was big, especially yeah, like you
mhm.
said, especially for like a really dark one like that one was. Right.
Yeah. So that was book with the satisfying conclusion. Okay. Book that pulled you out of a slump or like helped you through something. So,
Okay. All right.
all right, ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
I went more.
Wow. Okay.
I went more
Why?
with pulling it out of a slump. So it didn't really help
Okay.
me work through anything emotionally, like personally, but this was the first book that I read after coming off of Alchemized, and I tried to read like two or three other books after finishing that one, and I was so worried that I was going to get into a slump, that nothing was going to be really interesting. It was almost like my palette was like my reading palette shifted a little bit after I finished Alchemized, and this one was like it was written in such a unique way that it's like caught my attention, and it helped pull me out of that, like keep me from going into a reading slump. So the night in the
Right.
moth.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Um, So for me, Water Falling, I get it and Water
Yes.
Rising mixed up so much. So Water Falling, I read this before my surgery and then after my surgery when I was recovering,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a lot of spiritual lessons that I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to hear the lesson, and I was because it was about your will versus God's will, and I'm
Yeah.
going, I didn't want this to happen. I don't want this. I think I know better. Like
Yeah.
not directly, but like that, and it's like that lesson about God's will. He knows better, even if we're going through something we
Mm-hmm.
don't understand,
Yeah.
and I was going through something I didn't understand, and so were the
Yeah.
characters, and I just
That's
really
really
needed
cool.
to hear that and
Good.
related to it.
That's
And
awesome.
like I'm almost gonna cry because it hit me like it's
No.
hitting me
Yeah.
in reflection
Yeah.
when at the time I was just like I needed to just get away from reality and just sit on the couch and
Mm-hmm.
read a book, and that's kind of what this was for me.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. But
okay.
I love it. Hey, and then honestly, those hard like those lessons from the Lord are sometimes so hard to take, like
Yeah,
under like being
it can be.
like it's one of those things, like I feel like it's so hard to acknowledge, because like we tend to get this warped idea that we know ourselves best because we're us, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know having to put our pride aside and acknowledge that the person that literally created every detail of our being, knows us better than we know ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, and also that concept of he, like, God, like Jesus is past, present, and future. Like he knows every moment of our life, and he knows what's the
Yes.
best part. Like he knows when we're gonna mess up, and how he can turn that around to for good. And it's really, it's awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad
And,
that
like,
that book that you had, water. Now you have me mixing them up. Is it falling or?
water falling. It's falling.
I was like, I
Water
can't even remember
falling.
it now because you mentioned the other one too, and I'm like, ah, darn.
I always, anytime I talk about reading Water Rising, I keep saying that one, and when I talk about reading that one, I talk about the other
That's
one. It's like
funny.
I can't get it straight.
That's funny.
But yeah,
It's
it's one of those
water
things
something.
it's one of those things where, like, we would never wish bad things upon ourselves, but sometimes it's like you have to go through the fire to be refined, and, like, you know, God sees that and knows what can help us grow with the character, and that's kind of like the character's going through a lot of growth in there too. So.
It honestly, it reminds me of a verse in Psalms 23. It's like one of those verses that people don't really mention when they're quoting Psalms 23, but it's verse 2 where it says, He makes me lie down in green pastures. Everyone always talks about, like, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for he will be with me. Like, everyone always quotes that one, but it's like, for me, the verse that sticks out in that whole chapter is, He makes me lie down in green pastures. That idea that sometimes we don't want to stop, sometimes we don't want to be crippled, like, with an injury or recovery, and we don't want to have to go through that, but sometimes we have to go through the crap because we need to sit and reflect, and we need to listen to God. And sometimes we just need to stop talking and listen to God. And, like, Mom and I have had this discussion before too, that Mom is so on it and on it. And there's times, like, at school, like, she had the Lord just tell her, Angie, stop talking and listen to this, what this one kid's trying to tell you. And the kid was talking about going to church and stuff, and it was like a really cool moment. But it's like, sometimes the Lord's like, you just need to stop and listen to me for a minute. And it's like, I'm guilty of that. I know I'm like this is what I need, Lord. I need this now. And it's just, sorry, last little tidbit onto that. But yeah.
Okay.
All right, final. Was it me that announced the last one, or was it you?
It was me. I was doing odd numbers. That's how I've been keeping track of odd numbers. Because we flopped. I started originally doing even numbers, and somehow now you're doing them. So I was like, I got it.
Ooh. Okay. Final award. Drumroll. Best audiobook of the year.
I can't choose, so I chose 3. So we're here. We got 3.
Okay. All right. Cool. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Okay. So the last letter. Okay. Brimstone, and then Immortal. Ooh, Immortals. Okay.
And Immortal. So yeah, I will let you talk about yours first.
Okay. So for me, the audiobook that I listened to for the Fellowship of the Ring was the one that Andy Serkis, he's actually went through, and on Audible he has recorded, I don't know, I'm gonna look here and see how many books he's actually narrated now for, like, of Tolkien's Middle Earth books. Let's see, he's done the Silmarillion, which is, like, I call it the Middle Earth history book. It's one of the big ones over there on the up shelf. He's done the Hobbit, the main 3. He hasn't done any of Christopher Tolkien's stuff that he's edited for his father, but he's done the main 3 and the Hobbit, and he's done the Silmarillion as well. And it's just, he's a voice actor on, like, for movies and stuff, on top of, like, now he's, like, narrating, and he'll sing the different, like, yes, and he's so good at making each character sound unique and adding its own twist. And for me, that would be so, like, I am not a narrator, I have no idea what all goes into that, but for me, that I feel like that would be, like, so complicated to have to keep track of how each individual character sounds. Like, narrators are amazing. Like, they blow my mind at the concept of, like, making each unique character sound unique, and it's just really cool.
A little bit of fun fact about that. I've actually done a lot of voice calls with the one who's doing Survivor, Lynn, and she's color coded everything. And like
Oh,
we have
cool.
three different races, so we had to nail down the race at like the race's
Mm.
accent, and then how each character individually takes that
Oh, that's
accent
cool.
and like makes it into their voice. And she gets really like she's one of the most in depth ones I've mentioned because like I've talked about because she'll talk about like
Hmm.
how the shape of your mouth is supposed to go and like the
Oh, wow.
vowels and like what's stronger and what's weaker and like what
Hmm.
sounds like she was talking about like the Midwestern accent versus the one of the other hot I can't remember the other accent that she talked about and like she's so in depth. I'm
That's cool.
like yeah, you're incredible. Like
Yeah.
so there's a lot. I love getting the behind the scenes of that because it's like so incredible what narrators do.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, the two I'll talk about Immortal last, but I really love Quicksilver and Brimstone because it's written by Callie Hart, but it's narrated by Stella Bloom and Anthony Palomi. He's one of
Hmm.
my favorite. I think he does Resand in the
Hmm.
Akatar. Um, audiobooks and there's like a lot of like monsters and creatures and they both had like it's a duet narration which is
Oh,
a
cool.
different
Yeah.
than the dual narration here.
Hmm.
So that means that like she does all the girl parts, he does all the guy parts, and like some of the
Hmm.
creatures are like
Oh, yeah.
so creepy and so good. Like I
Hmm.
was listening to the bonus POV and I was playing it out loud and Alicia comes out to like let out her puppy and it was like such a creepy part with a creepy creature
Hmm.
that the girl was doing. And Alicia's like, what in the world is that? And I'm like, it's an audiobook, sorry. And like
That's
that's
funny.
how good they are because it's
Hmm.
like it was meant to be creepy.
Oh, yeah.
And then this was obviously a dual narration, so like he would read all of his chapters, she would read all of her chapters,
Mm, cool.
and so oftentimes he was doing like the girl voice and she was doing the
Hmm.
guy voice, and they had to capture the personalities
Oh, cool.
and stuff. And it was also it's written by Rebecca Yarros, narrated by Teddy Hamilton and Jennifer Stark. I could never remember her last name.
Oh, cool.
Um, and so, yeah, and like the emotion and stuff, and it was like there was a lot of like older characters and just like the wide range of their thing and like their what's it called? Um, like what they can do with their voices was just like really good.
Hmm.
And then last but not least, Immortal. And I'm not praising myself here. You can think whatever you want about this book, but Brandon J. Peterson does a fantastic job
Hmm.
narrating
He
this thing.
does.
It spans a lot of different time periods and history, so he has a lot of different accents and stuff. And the voices, like I'll never forget when I found the Pearl Harbor
Hmm.
president speech. Afterward, I found the real clip and I
Hmm.
faded it out into his version of
Oh,
that
cool.
in that part of the story. He sounds just like the
That's cool.
president. Like he practiced and he did it, and it was
Oh,
like
cool.
he made me cry on a book I've read half a dozen gazillion times at this
Yeah.
point, and I still
Oh,
cried
cool.
just because of the emotion. And he
Hmm.
also does Eshi, like kudos for him because I don't think I would pick a
Hmm.
female Eshi just because he does her so well too. So
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our 2025 book
yay!
awards. Again, feel free to put what books won your awards and below, and let us know.
We don't read photos.
Yeah. And if you enjoy
So,
our content and you enjoy how the channel works, if you don't know, Joanna and I are both posting. We'll post shorts throughout the week, or we have been, not lately, but we typically
we're supposed
post
to.
shorts that kind of go more in depth into our personal journey and the current books that we're reading. And then we have live streams either once a week or once or twice a month, just kind of sharing our like together, more generalized, like what we've been doing this month, and talking about like drama or book announcements or different things. So if you enjoy that and you want just an overall a good non-toxic place to just be a bookish, join us. Make sure you subscribe. I'll check that we do have a Discord. I'll have to check. The link may have expired, so in our bio the link should be there, so don't forget to check that out as
Yeah.
well.
Yep. And also just yeah, like the video and let us know what your like
Yeah.
your books what you've enjoyed this year and stuff.
Yes.
So and
Or
we'll try to be more accurate next not accurate, what's the word? Like consistent next year.
it's okay. And if there's any categories that we didn't mention that you would like to see in the future, let us know. And we'll think
Yeah.
to put them, because we had a pretty good category like list this year. But if there's any categories um, that you want us to see like for next year, let us know too.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.